Dia dengar Aisyah?
Saya duduk.
Tak dapat juga. Munis. Munis ni saya kenal ni, Munis. Bagus Munis. Munis, kau buka saja je, tinggal je.
Saya doktor.
Hebat ah. Apa khabar?
Baik.
Buat apa sekarang?
Ya?
Buat apa sekarang?
Buat apa?
Buat apa? Buat apa sekarang ni?
Pergi tengok FYP ya doktor.
Masih buat FYP ke?
Ya doktor. Saya baru komplek.
Bukan dah pergi SM berapa Munis sekarang ni?
Hello.
Yes. Yeah.
Hello,
Sorry.
Misu.
Hi. Sorry, because I think my laptop, the voice audio is not functioning, so I'm going to use my phone for the record, for the voice, and then I'm going to share slides via my laptop.
Okay, Misu.
Okay, sorry about that technical failure for all.
Tak apa. It's okay. So, Misu, kita boleh start sekarang ke?
Ya, boleh.
Okay.
Good morning to all the attendees. The event will be starting shortly. Before we start, here are some important housekeeping notes to make before we begin today's event. In order to facilitate today's event more effectively, we ask for your kind of cooperation to please mute yourself if you are not speaking. Q&A will be open at the end of the speaker session. Feel free to type in your questions in the chat box. There will also be a quiz session later, and we will let you know how to win the attractive prizes. And most important of all, please enjoy the event and interact with us. Audience, we will have a photo session at the end of the event. We encourage all of you to open your cam, so please prepare yourself with proper appearance. Just a kind reminder, if you haven't filled in the attendance form, the link is given at the chat box. If there is any inquiry, please do not hesitate to contact our technical team. Good morning to our honorable guests, Dr. Rozihan Muhammad, Coordinator Bachelor of Science in Aquaculture with Honours, Ms. Faziha Nur Mohammed, Senior Assistant Register of Faculty of Agriculture, our speaker, Ms. Shoni Su, the speaker from AOC Global Aquatics Sdn Bhd, friends from AOC Global Aquatics Sdn Bhd, and all of the respectable participants from UPM. I am Ahmad Samsudin Misri, student of Bachelor's Degree of Aquaculture Science UPM, and I will be your moderator of the day. On behalf of AOC Global Aquatics Sdn Bhd and committees of Permatani, we are pleased to welcome all of you to the Agriculture Career Prospect Series 2 AOC Global Aquatics Sdn Bhd. Before we proceed further this morning, may we invite Dr. Rozihan Mohammed, Coordinator Bachelor of Science in Aquaculture with Honours, to deliver his opening speech. The floor is yours, Data.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih kerana deliver ini bahasa. Okay. Terima kasih pengurusi majlis Ahmad Samsudin, rakan-rakan sekalian, Puan Fida, ahli jabatan, ahli fakulti pertanian, pelajar-pelajar fakulti pertanian, terutamanya jabatan aquaculture. Pagi ni insya-Allah kita akan ada buat career talk untuk sesi kedua. Okey, dalam bidang aquaculture. Saya Rozihan Muhammad daripada Jabatan Aquaculture. Dah lama dah dekat sini. Dekat aquaculture. Right. Apa khabar semua? Santai-santai Jangan stres. Kita masih lagi PKP. Jaga diri masing-masing. Ramai ada yang saya kenal, ada yang tak kenal lagi kat sini. So maklumlah Miss Sani, ada Chia, kita masih lagi online, not face to face. So ramai yang tak kenal lagi. Alright. Syarat kita pun dah maklum, Ahmad Samsudin dah bagi tahu apa objektif kita hari ini. Okey. Dan kita ada, apa khabar Cik Faizah pun ada support. Terima kasih. Boleh saya tahu berapa ramai ada student kat sini? Say hi semua. Aquaculture punya student. Okey. Yang lain? Semua malu-malu lah. Jangan malu-malu lah kan. Munis, saya nak dengar sikit suara. Belum lagi ya? Tak ada, tak mahu. Tadi dah bercakap dah. Okey. Okey, sedikit sebanyak apa yang saya tahu. Min Shani daripada AOC Global Aquatics Sdn Bhd. Okey. Di Seremban kan?
Di Seremban, ya.
Ya, right. Okey.
Ada students yang tinggal kat Seremban tak?
Ya, ada student yang tinggal kat Seremban tak? Ini satu opportunity lah, satu peluang. Saya harap kita SEM lepas kita ada student kat sana kan? Betul tak? Di sana?
Tak ada. Kita intern pertama kali kita dari institut kat Jeli. Politeknik Jeli.
Politeknik Jeli. Yes. Okay.
Untuk makluman doktor, mereka adalah company baru yang akan bekerjasama dengan fakulti pertanian lah.
Okay, tahniah.
Welcome Miss Cha and Swani. Right?
Shawnee. Actually, I have got 2 accounts. You guys can call me Shawnee because my laptop, right, is under Shawnee. It doesn't work, the audio. So I'm using my phone audio.
So this is the Swani. I thought it's another colleague. We never met. Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Nampak macam student kan? Nampak macam student.
Of course. You work in our company, you look very young.
Lainlah saya ni dah putih dah.
Dah putih ya,
Still handsome, tak apa.
Lama tak masuk office ni.
Tak ada. Sekarang work from home. Saya pergi farm 1 minggu 1 kali saja.
Okey, insyaAllah kita by next week kita ada berapa ramai? 30 plus student akan membuat LI. Sihat. Kita pecah lah. So Seremban dekat je kan. Right. Right. InsyaAllah. Boleh. You pun bila I tengok FB kan, pun okey. InsyaAllah. Boleh. Okey, tanpa membuang masa, saya ingat saya teruskan dengan perkongsian daripada syarikat AOC Global tentang ornamental fish.
Okay.
So tanpa membuang masa, saya serahkan kepada wakil daripada AOC. Okay. So the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to be very casual. I think don't need to be so serious. Okay, so thank you, Faizah, for have been liaising with me all this while, and then Fida helping me to fill up my Kahoot questions and asking me for all the documentation. And then thank you, Dr. Rozihan, for introducing me. Okay, so I'm going to start off. AOC actually, it means amazing original colors. Any one of you familiar with betta fish? fighting fish.
Fighting fish siapa?
Ada
Semua dah
tak?
tahu tu. Semua.
Tahu tak?
Mustahil tak tahu
Tahu.
ni.
Tahu tak? Tahu kan? Tapi bukan, kita punya fighting fish bukan untuk fighting punya ya. It's for competition. Okay, I think when during our younger days, right, we always buy fighting fish to fight and see, you know, whether who's the winner. But nowadays, fighting fish is no longer for fighting because of animal protection. Okay, so most people will buy them as pet for their beauty. All right. So AOC, when we sell our fish, right, we don't sell them for fighting competition. We sell them for beauty competition. Maybe I'll start off with introducing a little bit about the ornamental fish market so that all of you would have a better idea. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so this is our logo. It's from a real live fish, and then we convert it to this cartoonist logo. So AOC, as I mentioned earlier, it stands for Amazing Original Colors. So why Amazing Original Colors is because
Amazing original color. I see.
Amazing Original Colors, yes. You can actually see the colors of the this betta fish. We call it Galaxy. So you can see the various colors on it. It's just like the color of the galaxy, you know, different colors in the sky in terms of the stars. All right. So this is actually one of our boss's favorite fish. So he used it to convert it to a logo. So our designer painstakingly, you see all the little scale of the colors, she actually painstakingly painted each and every one of it. Okay. So Amazing Original Colors, and also because our boss is very into R&D, so all the fish in our farm is bred by our boss. He has about 30 over years of experience in betta breeding. Started off when he was a very young boy. So his hobby, we can say that is one of the story whereby hobby turned into a business. Yeah, so that's a little bit about AOC. Let's go into a little bit about ornamental fish, and then you'll understand why one of the reasons that we go into ornamental fish as a business. Okay. Not moving. Okay. Malaysia is actually the 8th largest world producer of ornamental fish. I'm not sure, you know, because some of the students might be from aquaculture, you already have all this facts, yeah. But it's just good to highlight from a business point of view in terms of how we can further grow the ornamental fish market in Malaysia. All right, and 70% of the species that we produce are exported. And if you look at it, we are the 8th largest producer, and we contribute 9% of the global trade for ornamental fish in the world. Yeah, if you look at it, the people who usually import from all around Asia in terms of ornamental fish is US and EU. EU is European Union. So it's quite amazing if you look at the numbers. In US, right, 7.2 million household actually has a pet fish. All right, and that is ornamental fish. In EU, it's 3.2 million. In UK, even more, it's 4 million. Why I say it's more is because it constitutes 14% of the total population. And they spend about 400 million pounds a year just to upkeep their fish. That's a very big market, right? It sounds like. Okay. Then if you look at the value of ornamental fish that we import and export, it costs about it actually contributes about 4 billion and 3 billion respectively. And in Malaysia, there are only 229 registered ornamental fish exported, and I'm proud to say that AOC is one of them. So we are working on exporting our fish currently because we only started for about 1 year. Yeah, so now we are still selling locally. So our next step is to export. We are in the midst of getting our MyGap so that we can export to China. Okay, so in terms of data now from ornamental fish, I'll move down to a little bit of facts about betta fish. Yeah, production value for Malaysia in terms of betta fish is 350 million. That's why I was asking, you know, how many of you actually know about betta fish? Then we can do a little bit of survey also. And Malaysia is actually the 4th largest exporter for betta. And you'll be surprised to know who's in the lead, Singapore. You'll be wondering, Singapore is so small, how can they contribute to be the largest exporter for betta fish? In fact, it's not just betta fish. a lot of the ornamental fish, they are number one in the world. Why? It's because Singapore is a very smart business country. They import from the rest of us, like Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, then they quarantine it in Singapore and then export it. So they don't really have that much that they breed themselves, but they still consider, if you look at global trade, they can still consider number one. Okay, like I mentioned just now, nowadays betta fish is no longer for fighting, which I got a lot of response whenever I tell people that, you know, we are breeding betta fish. So the first thing they ask us is, oh, so you actually use them for fighting? No, we don't. Yeah, we actually send them for competition, and the buyers who buy from us, they also love betta fish for their beauty. I'll show you some of the pictures that we have at our farm, the kind of breed that we have later on. So for competition, like International Betta Congress, this is a worldwide union, and they organize about 40 shows a year. This is during the pandemic. Yeah, we are not able to visit other countries to send our fish for competition, but once pandemic is over, then they will. So what they do right now is that the fish are courier over to different countries. Like the next coming one is in Brazil. So a lot of the competitors, they will send their fish over and then to be judged and then sent back. Even during pandemic, we have a lot of competition locally. Right now, that's every week. So for AOC, if you are into competition for betta fish, you'll see that we will receive an award or 2 awards or 3 awards every week. So we are AOC is quite popular in this scene when it comes to competition. Okay, so but of course, those are the opportunity. And then what are the threats and the challenges when it comes to breeding betta fish? The weather. So lately, if you notice, right, the weather has been quite cooling, and betta fish doesn't breed or survive very well in cool weather. So if you're breeding betta fish, you've got to make sure that they stay at a temperature about 30 degrees. That will be the best, or else they will fall sick. Yeah. So a lot of our fish fell sick during this period, and the mortality rate is very high. It could be about 30–40%. So it's really not easy. So whether the type of food that we feed them, it must be very clean. So Department of Fishery in Malaysia, we have been working very closely with them, and I say that they are very, very helpful. Yeah, from our inception to getting our license for operation to us getting our export license, they have been with us all the way. So I'm really, really very grateful for their help. They are very, very efficient. So they will come and advise us on, you know, the kind of feed that we can give it to our fish, and then how can we move ourselves to international standards so that we are able to export our fish. And then, okay, use of chemical treatment. So our fish has to be treated like they are other pets. So there are different chemicals that we need to use. Yeah, but it has to be also approved and legal. So it's not any type of chemical. And then of course the sanitization and hygienic environment. I'm not sure whether you have watched video whereby the fish, there was a very, very big protest earlier on about the treatment of betta fish, how they put them in very, very small whiskey container and then put them down all on the floor. So we don't do that. We have our racks to put up our betta fish, and then we put them in a larger container so that they can swim around, especially for those half moon, we call it the long tail one. Yeah. So sanitation and hygienic environment is very, very critical. So these are our challenges to maintain all this, weather we cannot control. Yeah. So a lot of times we have to use different methods to make sure that they don't fall sick. This is what I meant by my gap certificate. There are actually 19 documents and 19 criteria that we have to fulfill in order for us to get this certificate. Okay, so a little bit more about what I mentioned about our founder. His name is Chris Su. He started off the business in a small scale as a hobby, like I mentioned, when he was a very young boy. So 30 years of being in the betta scene has put him at the forefront. One of his specialty is black betta. So he is one of the 2 persons in Malaysia who's able to breed super black betta. Why I say that is because when it comes to competition, right, the whole betta fish has to be black, thoroughly black. You cannot have a slight spot of different color, whether it's white, gray, or anything. It must be really totally clean, whole black.
We call
Yeah,
solid
so not-
color, right?
Yes,
Solid
solid,
color.
correct. Solid color. You know a lot of you know about betta fish also, yeah. Okay. So it has to be black, the whole thing. So we call it super black. Yeah. So we are registered officially, although in July 2020, that our boss has been sort of like in business, but under proprietorship for many years. So we just registered ourselves as Sdn Bhd, and I must stress that we finished our first audit. It was very scary because the auditor will have to come and see how we do our stock count for fish. And then they have to make sure that, you know, our accounts meet all the standard for fishery. And in Malaysia, not many people actually registered their company as Sdn Bhd when it comes to breeding betta fish. Seafood has in the food, the fish for food, yes, but ornamental fish, not many people will register it. So there's really no, even the auditors themselves are not very sure about, you know, what kind of standard that we have to meet. So we actually work very closely with the auditor to make sure that we meet all the accounting standards, yeah, of recognition in terms of revenue and stocks. Yeah, like I mentioned, weekly winner of competition. Yeah, and then the next thing is we wanted to achieve MyGap by end of 2022. We are supposed to look at middle of next year, but because during pandemic, DOF was having a bit of challenge to come and visit our plant. So we have been just liaising over the phone. We have to work together because this is also something very, very new for Department of Fishery. So they're actually working with us very closely to come up with a standard format, yeah, to achieve and set it as a standard. Yeah. Okay, so this is our vision, very simple. Our boss is very, very enthusiastic about betta fish. So he just wanted to produce quality betta that are renowned worldwide. So International Betta Congress is our next step, that we wanted to send our fish overseas for competition. Yeah, mission is for fish lovers to own a betta and pick up the best practices to care for their pet. Reason being, we realize that a lot of people don't really know how to take care of their pets. They buy it back, they bring it home for 2 days, 3 days, lepas tu mati. Yeah, so we wanted to also educate people of how to best protect their fish. Okay, these are some of the fish that we have at our farm that we breed. Oh, okay. This is the super black that I was talking about. Okay, you guys can see my cursor, right? Yeah, this is the super black, very black, right? Yeah, this is our boss specialty. Yeah, this is what we call double tail. Do you see the two tails? It's not, it actually has two tails. This is what we call the double tail half moon. Long tail, but double. This is our platinum white. This is our steel blue. And this is what we call fancy. And this is our yellow. This is what we call plakat. If you see that is the tail is shorter. This is the half moon double tail. So right now we produce a lot of solid colors. We used to produce a lot of different colors like our logo, the galaxy, but because of competition, right, most people would prefer to have solid colors for competition. Okay, this is a snapshot of our organization. We don't have a lot of people right now. We're still growing. So that's our founder, Pristu. Then we have a sales manager with sales executive. So we're looking for another sales executive. Corporate affairs manager is yours truly, me. And then we have an accountant who help us with all our account matters. Then we have two farm executives helping out with the operation. So we're still hiring one more farm executive and also for sales. All right. So if this is me, Corporate Affairs Manager, my phone number, if you want to take it down, my email, if you want to contact me. If you have any question about betta, feel free, yeah, to chat with me. Okay, that's all for my presentation today. Any question?
Oh, okay, terima kasih Shani. Shani.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. Siapa nak tanya? Kita open for question now. Student kawan, boleh tanya dalam BM pun okey. Alright. Boleh.
Ya, tak boleh cakap bahasa Melayu, tak apa.
Oh, saya ni ada 03 dua. Satu
Sekarang
masuk
kekosongan ada 2, satu dekat sales dan satu dekat operation. Tapi we don't mind growing. Tengok caliber lah, kita boleh hire lebih lagi.
Ya, okey. Alright. Terima kasih. Oh, kita ada soalan dah dekat. Din, boleh bacakan soalan Din?
Which one, Doctor? Wait. Just pick one, Alright. Okay, we got question from Miss Jessie. Okay. Let me read the question. Good day, Miss Sue. I heard that the director is really into the R&D of betta fish. So, do you mind sharing about the job scope of an intern if one would like to do their internship in AOC?
Okay. I think one of the reasons why we are also giving opportunity to intern, even though we know that they probably only work for 3 or 4 months, is also because we wanted to share, our boss wanted to share his knowledge in terms of breeding better betta in Malaysia. So what we're going to expose the intern to is, of course, the way of breeding. Yeah, even feeding the betta fish, there's a skill and a method and a formula to it. Yeah, so you really have to know how to look at the condition of the fish before you feed. Yeah, so every morning before feeding the fish, we will have to look at the health status of the fish. So that's one. Yeah, so they will start off with feeding and identifying the health of the fish. Then they will have to learn how to carefully change their water so that they are in the best health condition. All right, so it's basically all the operation in the farm, and learn about the breeding technique also. We do keep a record of what kind of fish to crossbreed with each other. So if you look at the double-tailed plakat, they have 2 tails, right? It's actually a crossbreed between a plakat and a half moon, and we try to make it double-tailed. So if the person is good, all right, they will also get involved in the breeding, and our boss will be able to teach them how to they crossbreed. And if they are really, really good, our boss will give them an opportunity to have their own tank to do the breeding. Yeah, of course, they will also have to pick up on the overall sanitization and hygienic of the plant to make sure that the whole plant runs smoothly. Sorry, do I answer the question? Basically, they will be given opportunity in everything except for sales. Depend on the interest of the person, because selling a fish, you require also a lot of knowledge on the fish, because customers will ask you a lot of questions like, is the fish clean? Is the fish, the fin and the measurement, is it balanced? So you will have to be able to answer all that.
All right, thank you. Okay, we proceed to the next question. Okay, we got one more question. What do we get from having internship there other than experience?
Other than experience, you get an allowance.
Wow, how much?
Okay, right now we are giving it 500 as an allowance. Don't they usually give allowance? Internship, they give allowance, right? Or am I giving just us? No, right?
Yeah, no, honestly.
Oh, I shouldn't have given then.
You should give them.
No, because we think that, even if you as an intern, we do not want to shortchange you, even though we are giving you opportunity to learn and pick up things. But we also make sure that, you have money to have food, or else you can't work, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay.
All right, Miss Sue, I think this one is a personal question for you. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Miss Sue, why do you choose this industry instead of the others?
Okay, actually, this is a family business. Yeah, I used to be a headhunter. Yeah, in in an international headhunting firm. I'm not sure any one of you, are you familiar with headhunting industry?
Yes.
You know what headhunter? Maybe I sell a little bit on behalf of my ex-company also. So we are actually public listed Singaporean recruitment company. So we have my ex-company. I sort of like wanted to venture out from headhunting, but so it is a public listed company in Singapore. So it's called HRNet Group. We have offices all around Asia. It's actually one of the largest Asia recruitment company in Malaysia. So when we started this family business, I thought it would be good for me to help out, and stabilize the business.
Oh, okay, Misu. Okay, never mind. Just proceed. Okay, from Amirul Irfan. Good day and thank you, Ms. Su, for the presentation about AOC. What are the relevant skills AOC would expect students to possess if they aspire to become an intern at AOC? Thank you.
You must be willing to learn. It's going to be a very, very hard work. Running a farm is very, very difficult. Yeah, that's why I guess a lot of the people would prefer to work in an office. You really have to be able to take hardship. It's not so much of the skill that you possess, but your willingness to learn, your willingness to go through hardship, your willingness to overcome, tedious tasks. Because it's not just physical labor. You also have to do a lot of documentation because we're going towards my gap. So I think some people find it a bit difficult to balance because right now we also have a farm executive in our farm. So they find it, I either do my physical work or I do my documentation. So when it comes to two, they find it very difficult. So you will have to, put in the effort to balance out these two. Yeah, you willingness to take hardship because tak ada aircon punya ya. Farm tak ada aircon ya.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Su.
Okay, Ms. Su, few of our participants is amazed and shocked about the 500 allowance.
Oh, why? So I should give lesser, is it?
No, that was nice.
I think whether it's agriculture, aquaculture, or headhunting industry, I think it's only fair to treat everyone the same. It's not because we are aquaculture industry we should be any different from other industry. Yeah, because every industry has its pros and cons, and every industry deserves to thrive and have good people who believe in the industry. So if we treat people differently compared to other industry, that people will not be interested, to flourish in the aquaculture or agriculture industry. Yeah, because the skill needed, even though it's different, but all of us is also working towards the same cause. We wanted to flourish the industry, and we are in a particular industry is because we have passion and we are enthusiastic about it.
Right, Miss. Yeah, true. Okay, Miss, thank you. Let's proceed. The question. Hello, Miss. I want to know how long does it take to achieve the solid color beta trait?
Actually, it's not so much on, you see, because beta is a live thing. So there's really no time period. It's about, breeding. So they will come up with a lot of offsprings, right? So maybe you have like 50, 60 offsprings. Then you will have to choose. There's only maybe like, 10% that have solid color. The rest, you probably would have a bit of different colors in it. So it's not a matter of time. You really have to do a lot of breeding, and you have to come up with a lot of offsprings in order for you to have that. Because right now they are already solid color. They are already solid color, but whether they are clean enough to go for competition, whether they're quality enough to go for competition. Because bear in mind, right now all our fish are mostly for competition or for beauty purposes. So when it's for beauty purposes, people will also have certain criteria to determine the beauty. And most people would want thorough solid without different colors in it. Is that what you mean? Who was asking that question?
Yeah,
Ah.
I think it is.
Hmm.
Oh, so it takes lux also lah.
Yeah, a very tough job, okay? Sometimes you have like 50 fish and then you don't have one. And then you have 50 fish that all died. Why? Because suddenly the temperature dropped. Sakit hati, okay?
Wow, it's a tough job, yes.
Very
All
tough
right.
job. That's why I have to be very persistent, yeah, if you want to go into, anything to do with life.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Motivation for today.
Yes.
All right, we proceed. Next is Miss. For those who come from other states, will accommodation be provided?
Sorry, no. That's why I was asking who stays in Seremban. Or you have relatives in Seremban, is okay? Because the current intern, she actually have relative in Seremban, so she's staying with, it's a she, by the way. She's staying in her relative's place. Is there a lot of ladies in aquaculture and agriculture?
Yeah, almost a lot.
For 50%?
Yeah,
students.
a lot of choice.
Okay.
All right, let's proceed to the next question. Miss Sue, mind if I ask, who is the best competitors in this betta fish breeding business? And what is the ascendant of AOC to win this competition?
Okay. So there are a lot of competitors, but not many competitors are focused in competition. So there are a lot of larger, bigger farms than us in Penang and Johor, and also in Perak, but they are not breeding specifically for competition. So those who are breeding specifically for competition, very, very close. There's one breeder, also in Seremban, that breed just purely red, solid red. We call it super red, betta fish. And then there's also one who breed very, very nice copper fish. And then ours is super black. So if you talk about the same type of fish, right, the same color, we don't really have a closest competitor. But if you talk about competition, same betta but different colors, then the other two would be the nearest closest competitor. So if we want copper, right, usually we will go to the one that breed the best copper, and then we sort of like, exchange fish with them. And then if we want the super red, so usually we'll work together with them, yeah, to share, so to speak, share our experience and expertise.
All right, Michelle. Okay, next. Hello, Miss. For intern student, how many days in a week they have to work?
Half job, you must be ready for 6 days work, okay?
6 days work.
6 days work,
Sunday?
because the fish need to eat. Sunday off.
I see.
We let
Sunday
the fish rest for 1 day. Don't let them eat so much. We only feed them 6 days. Sunday, puasa.
Sunday was.
Actually, we want to rest.
Oh yeah, rest. We need rest.
No, but betta fish is hardy. So according to our boss, it's good, to feed them, let them puasa for 1 day so that, they can cleanse. I don't know whether it's because he doesn't want to work or he really wants to cleanse the fish, of toxic. Yeah, so that's why he said.
Krista Webster say, yes, human need rest too.
When you're young, you don't need so much rest. When you're like me, then yeah.
We're not so young. We are not so young. You look younger than me. Yeah.
Because you haven't seen me closed up. But frankly speaking, just a note to all of you who are going to finish your study or you're studying right now. This is really from experience. If you wanted to go all out during your 20s, you put in all your effort. If you need 16 hours a day, you need to work 18 hours a day, go ahead. Because once you hit 35 or 40, even if you want to work, your body doesn't allow you to work. So if you want to be able to, have a more rest, then you might as well maximize your stamina while you're young. Honestly, if you grow older, even if you want to work, physically, you won't be able to, you are not up to it anymore. So don't be
Wow.
afraid to put in long hours. When you're young, you can go party, until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure you can work 16 hours a day. Well, sounds like a terrible employer, yeah.
Okay, guys, take note. All right, Miss Shu, before we proceed, do you have any other sharing about the company, about you, or about life?
Yeah. Work hard, but yes, you need rest also. But frankly speaking, if you have the stamina and energy, go all out. Don't wait until your body is not able to take on that physical challenge anymore, and then you wish you are able to work longer, because you really can't. I'm sure when you are 22 or 23 now, you can compare back to when you're 18. Physically, you realize that your stamina is not there anymore. Correct or not? Ahmad Samsudin?
Yep.
Correct. So
Yeah.
can you imagine if you're 40 compared to you're 30, and you're 30 you compare to when you're 25? So if you don't maximize it when you're young, once your physical health give way, you got no chance really.
Oh, so now's the time.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
All right. Thank you, Miss Shoni Su, and the questions from the floor. Due to the constraint of time, we apologize for those questions that had not been answered. If you have any inquiries, you are encouraged to contact the email shoni@aocga.com. The details will be given in the chat box.
Cannot take hardship, cannot join us, huh?
Noted. Keep that in your mind, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. Anything else that you need me to address?
Anything else, guys?
I think that's all. It's a great presentation, Miss Su. I suppose everyone enjoyed it very much. How about you, Kak Faida? I suppose there's nothing else to add on. You want to join us in the Kahoot session also, can, Miss Su? You want to join us later?
Actually,
All
I've got another appointment.
Oh, okay. I suppose it's
Okay.
okay. Thank you very
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
joining us, Miss Su.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Miss Su. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Miss Su.
Bye.
All right, back to our topic. I suppose our participants have been paying close attention to our speaker, Ms. Shoni Su, throughout the whole session. Now it's time for our quiz session. All students and attendees on Zoom are welcome to